hidden child because my parents were Christians.
Hmm.
But like in life, my father was a deacon, my
Hmm.
mother was an attending member. Based on what I was told by her, they fell into sin.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman,
And if you were just
Logan
trying to get to
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're joined by a terrific author. Her name is Jane Litchmore-Grant, and she has penned a book you're just going to love. It is called It All Makes Sense Now. It is a powerful, faith-filled autobiography about purpose, healing, and divine direction. From childhood into adulthood, Jane shares how God met her, carried her through miracles, challenges, and life-changing encounters as well, and turned pain into meaning. This is a story of resilience, redemption, and the moment it all finally clicks and makes sense. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put her on TV today. We ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Jane, thank you so much for joining me here today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
It's great to have you on the show. The book is powerful. It's very, very insightful. Why did you decide to share your story with the world on the pages of this wonderful book?
It was a hard decision to make, and it was an easy decision to make. Why do I say that? I was given an instruction
Mhm.
by this visitor that came to my home.
Mm.
And I'm not one to like to talk about myself a lot, but what she said to me resonated. And later I found out that this lady was not who I thought she was. I just thought
Mm.
she was an ordinary visitor.
Mm.
I could explain the situation. She came for shelter at our home. There was a storm brewing, and she was standing by the bus stop. So our house is quite just across from the bus stop.
Mhm.
She came for shelter. I answered the doorbell, brought her in, and she just started to talk to me mostly about my husband. She said,
Mm.
"Oh my God, you're in England, and I know Linton," and she told me some things about him which I know are true.
Mhm.
And then she said, "Oh, and by the way, I saw you on television. You
Mm.
used to sign for the news in Jamaica, right?" I said, "Yes,
Mm.
but I don't know you, ma'am." And she
Yeah.
said, "Okay, when Linton come, just ask him. He knows me very well." And
Mm.
literally, the storm abated, took her to the gate. She walked to the bus stop, and then I didn't see her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But before she left, she said to me, "Jane, you've been journaling for a while." I said, "Yes." And
Mm.
she said, "You need to put those journals and turn them into a book. And the
Mm.
title of your book should be," this is how I got the title, literally from her. "The title of your book should be, It All Makes Sense Now." It took me a few years, but I got there in the end.
Amazing, amazing. Well, and you believe that woman was an angel, actually. Divine
I do.
presence came to you, right?
Yes, only
Yeah.
because when I looked, I didn't see her anymore. And
Wow.
then I was troubled about it for quite a few weeks. And I happened to meet a friend who is very spiritual. She's very, and she was like a mentor to me. I saw her and I said to her, "I need you to explain this to me." And she said, "Jane, that was an angelic visitation." Hence I got the term for the first time,
Yeah.
angelic visitation. Yeah.
Exactly. Amazing, amazing. Talk to us a little bit about your journey. What makes sense now? How has it all fallen into perspective and clicked?
It clicked. I'm going to start from a young child.
Hmm.
I caught the fever. The dengue fever outbreak was in Jamaica, and I actually passed away from that fever,
Mm.
that dengue outbreak.
Yeah.
And I could see my body on the bed, And the top of the heads of my mom, my grandma, the community members who came around, they were all praying and calling on God. And in the midst of all of that, I am looking down at the top of their heads and my body on the bed, and I heard two prominent voices. To me, it felt like to my right side.
Mm.
And I, no, 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 no. I am not through with her. No, I'm getting it. I am not. And there was like a confrontation
Wow.
between these two voices. And the last thing I remembered was when the voice said, no, it was more powerful than the other one. And he said, no, no,
Mm.
I am not through with her yet. And that was at that point I could literally see my body, feel my body coming all the way down because I was now seeing like their breasts and the waist of the
Mm-hmm.
people around me.
Mm.
And then all in a sudden, I heard my grandma scream, "Thank you, Jesus, for bringing
Wow.
Annie back to us." So that was how I recognized then that I had passed.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So it was basically a near-death experience. You had passed, you had seen your
Yes.
body, and then you came back to your body.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's later on. I didn't know that at the time. I was only young, but later
Mhm.
on, I saw that in a book, and I thought, oh, no, it was a newspaper. Some
Yeah.
newspaper I was reading, and they said it was a near-death experience. So I went and I searched it up, and I realized what
Wow.
it's all about.
Amazing. Amazing. So that was early in your life. Um,
Yes,
and tell us about other experiences that you went through,
yeah,
challenges at times that you
yeah.
learned from and you feel that our readers will learn from as well.
I can tell you one that jumps out at me right away
Mm.
was this experience I had at school. I was doing very well in school. There was a girl in my class that every time my test paper results came out, she always had a comment, a negative comment to make. And
Mm.
one day I heard her said, "Oh, every test that the girl that she take, she always pass it." That's a Jamaican patois
Right.
for every test that child takes, she always passes.
Right.
And she made another comment to say, "My mother must be involved in witchcraft."
Mm.
Heard it, but I did not look at her. I just pretended I didn't hear.
Right.
In a few days' time of that comment, I got a mango from a friend.
Hmm.
And that mango was the smell of it just hit me right away. It was so nice. It's called East Indian mangoes, which we have in the eastern side of the country.
Hmm.
And that's where her relatives were from.
Mm.
Um, and she said she went to the country, so I believed her. I took the
Right.
mango and I was about to have it, but I said I'll wait until break. I walked downstairs, going down the stairs with my friend next to me, and my God, my
Mm.
body just started to quicken. And even my feet were shaking as if I was going to fall over. So my
Mm.
friend Janet said to me, "Jane, oh my God, you're trembling." I said, "Yes, and it's all because of it's only started since I take this thing from," and I called the girl's name.
Mm.
She then said to me, "Janet, my friend, Jane, don't have it." I said, "I won't." And I could hardly speak because my mouth was like my teeth
Mm.
were doing like that. I was
Wow.
trembling. And I just threw the mango with all my strength across the gully.
Wow.
And instantly, Logan, my body just calmed down.
Mm.
And Janet said, "Oh my God, Jane, what?" And then she said, "This is creepy." And she and I were just reminiscing on it. I said, "I don't know where this is from, but Yvonne gave it to me." And I believed in Yvonne, only later to find out it really wasn't from Yvonne.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. Another amazing story. Your life is filled with divine inspiration, no doubt, and divine encounters. You've worked in church for many years alongside your husband's pastoral ministry. Talk to us a
Yeah.
little bit about that work and how it helped shape the message in this book.
Yes, I started out very young. I became a Christian when I was
Mm.
only 7 years old. I
Mhm.
wanted to be baptized, but my grandma said, "No, you're too young." So they waited she said another year, but it never happened.
Mm.
So after 3 years, I got baptized, and right away I became, well, they started to use me. Something with the pastor. He always puts me in a position where I either read a scripture or I say a prayer.
Mhm.
I was only young, and
Right.
and that carried on. I really relished those years. And later, as I grew, I was given work in different departments in the church. Was very
Mm.
active until this appointment of my husband. Um, and I just prayed, and lots of people were saying, "I think one day you're going to be
Yeah.
a pastor, Jane." And
Wow.
I said, "Oh no, not me." I used to say that. Sorry, Lord. But
Yeah.
yeah, I used to say, not me, not at all. I'm not cut out for that. Too much trouble in church.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've now been walking in this position as a pastor's wife for how many years now, Linton? How many years? It's been since 1996,
Wow.
the year we got married, the actual year we got married.
Amazing. Amazing. Your upbringing was tough. You were
Mhm.
a so-called hidden child.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how that affected your sense of identity and impacted your childhood.
Yeah, hidden child because my parents were Christians.
Hmm.
But like in life, my father was a deacon, my
Hmm.
mother was an attending member. Based on what I was told by her, they fell into sin.
Mm.
And my brother Tony, God bless his soul, he recently passed away just
Mm.
2 months ago.
I'm sorry.
Uh, of a heart attack. Really, that was a hard one for me. But he
Yeah.
he and I were products of this hidden relationship,
Yeah.
and my mother kept herself back because she's also an anointed woman of God, and I just believe the enemy tried to destroy her, but neither of them lost their faith.
Mm.
They carried on, repented, and my mom carried on being a woman of God in our community and highly respected.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah, but out of adversity comes strength, comes character, and all of the graces
yeah.
that God bestows upon us. What do you hope readers take away from your book? When they close that last page, what do you hope sticks with them? What do you hope they learn about God, the journey of faith, and about themselves?
About God first.
Hmm.
God, He is who He is, who He said He is. He's a God of love. He's a God of peace. He brings contentment when there seems to be turmoil all around us. And for me, just to be able to have gone through the journeys I have gone through, it would be just to say to my people listening
Hmm.
around the world that, you know what, you can trust Him when He say, "I am your peace.
Hmm.
I love you with an everlasting love." And
Hmm.
nobody can tell me that, and I believe it as much as what the Lord has said. And what He says He would do, He has done.
Yeah.
And because of that, I would want them to think, you know what, she's been through rough times,
Hmm.
but she has come through. I just turned 59 years old on
Hmm.
Sunday.
Happy
So
birthday.
thank you. I'm celebrating the fact that my being here today at
Hmm.
59 years old is more than a miracle. So
Yeah.
I would say follow your heart. If the Lord bids you to do something, do it. Don't wait,
Yeah.
because I was frightened to do this, but because I think that's why he
Hmm.
had to send this lady to say to me, I call her the angelic visitation.
Hmm.
But she said to me, and I obeyed. And what I would say to you, if the Lord speaks to you, obey.
Yeah,
Just obey.
absolutely. Well, that is a great message, great meaning, and a great takeaway from this terrific book. It is called It All Makes Sense Now. It's a moving faith memoir about redemption, purpose, and the turning points in our lives that reveal God's hand through every season of life. Jane, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Logan. Thank you so very much.
I
God bless you.
appreciate your time. God bless you. I appreciate your time, your wonderful faith, and the great work you've done on this book. I know it'll be an inspiration to many, many readers out there. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for for your time this time. Until next time.